All right, for lesson 2.2c, it's our third lesson for 2.2 here. We're going to do mixed numbers and improper fractions. Again, just kind of a supplemental lesson here, so that way we can keep moving forward. All right, we're going to rename each mixed number as an improper fraction in simplest form. So in order to do this, we have a couple steps here. We're going to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and then we're going to add the numerator. The denominator will stay the same. All right. So in this case here, we're going to take, we have 3 whole. It takes 4 parts to make a whole, so we're going to do 3 times 4, which is 12, and then we're going to add 12 to the numerator. So then our new answer will be 13/4. The denominator will stay the same. We can just go ahead and do that. It's pretty simple because 1/4 is already in simplest form. Same thing here, we multiply 3 times 4, and then we add the 12, and now we're going to get 13/4. However, the answer is negative 13/4 because of the negative sign out in front. So it will just remain the same 13/4. However, it's just the whole thing's going to be negative. All right. So now, like I was saying here in the last problem, it was easy because it was already in simplest form. Now for this, we're going to make sure that we get it in simplest form first. So we'll show a little bit of work here, dividing both of these by 4 to get it equal to 7 1/4. All right, and then we can multiply the whole number times the denominator to get 28. So we'll add 28 to the numerator for a grand total of 29/4. And now it is in simplest form. We could have done it before, but it would have been more difficult to do in our head. 7 times 16, probably not a really easy multiplication problem to do in your head, and then you have to add 4. And then we would have had to simplify later. So it's much easier to simplify first, okay? So that way we don't have to use bigger numbers after we multiply. Simplify when the numbers are already smaller and easier to work with. All right, so same thing here. We have 8 and 9/18. I can see that we can divide both of these by 9. So again, just show that step. Simplify it first. We get 8 1/2. All right, multiply the whole number times the denominator, 8 times 2. Add the numerator to get a grand total of 17/2. Really pretty easy to do in your head. However, 8 times 18, that would have been kind of tricky. And then to simplify it would have been quite a bit of work. So simplify it first, then we rename it as an improper fraction. The reason we need to rename, practice renaming whole mixed numbers as improper fractions is because working with mixed numbers in equations and things like that just gets messy. It's a lot easier to use improper fractions when working with rational numbers in equations. So we're just practicing this skill of how to get them turned around and use both mixed numbers and improper fractions. All right, for example 3, again, I see I can divide both by 4. So just show the work here. We write 9 1/2. Multiply 9 times 2 to get 18. Add that to your numerator to get 19/2. And that's your grand total there. 19/2 is the same as 9 4/8, or 9 1/2. Okay, because if we divide 19 by 2, you're going to get 9 whole plus 1 part remaining, so 1/2. And then we could rewrite 1/2 as any number of fractions that are equivalent to 1/2. All right, so we're also going to rename each improper fraction as a whole or mixed number in simplest form. Okay, key being simplest form. All right, we want to keep that in mind. Determine how many times the denominator can go into your numerator. This is the whole number, and the remainder is the numerator, and your denominator stays the same. Okay, we can't change what size pieces of the pie that we get. All right, so we have 72 over 63, or 72/63. All right, so I'm going to subtract 63. I'm going to circle it because those are my whole. All right. Since I just used the number 63, we know then that's just 1. Okay, 1 whole. All right. When we subtract 72 minus 63, I'm going to get 9 left over. So that's 1 whole and 9/63 left. Now, of course, I want to get this into simplest form. So I'm going to divide both of these by 9. to get 1 1/7 for my final answer. Okay, so 72 63rds, we simplified that and we get 1 1/7 for a final answer. All right, so again, what did I do? I subtracted the denominator. Okay, it says determine how many times the denominator can go into your numerator. Well, we could do that once whole. Okay, and so I subtracted the 63, had 9 left over. That's my remainder. The remainder is the numerator, and your denominator stays the same. Okay, the denominator does stay the same. However, we want to simplify it. Okay. All right, so 24 can only go out of 31, so we're just going to subtract the 24. We'll circle it because that's our whole. All right, we only use one of them. And we're going to have a leftover of 6, or a remainder. So we have 6 24ths left over. We can divide both of those by 6 to get 1 1/4 there. So 30 24ths, we can rewrite that as a mixed number in simplest form as 1 1/4. All right, so for the next one here, example 3, we have 84 36ths. I know that if I multiply 36 times 2, I'm going to get 72. So I can get 2 out of here. So let's subtract 72. I'm going to circle it. I'm going to write a 2. That's my 2 whole. I'm going to have 12 left over. So I'm going to have 2 12 36ths. I know I can divide this by 12 and this also by 12 to get 2 1/3 for a grand total there. So 84 36ths can be written as 2 1/3 is a mixed number in simplest form. All right, and that's actually our last example for today. So again, just kind of getting some review there, hopefully. This is some of the stuff that, we kind of skip over in skipping Math 7. So I just kind of want to touch base and spend some time here practicing this skill.